Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can.
Hey guys, Coach Dan here. We are heading into, or beginning, should I say, week 6 of the fat loss phase. So things are getting challenging, as you go on in a fat loss phase, like maybe hunger doesn't always, for me anyway, personally, doesn't always become extreme or the thing that kind of makes it really challenging. It's just general feeling of, tired, lack of motivation, those kinds of things. And irritability, I can feel a bit irritable and stuff like that. So that makes it quite challenging. But again, we, get better at every time. So make sure I don't knock that onto my family and stuff like that, because this is a thing that I choose to do. I don't need to do it, but I choose to do it for my own, enjoyment and as a hobby. So as far as plan goes at the moment, we are business as usual, right? We're going to start this week off with the same plan, same steps as far as non-exercise activity. Well, it sort of is exercise, but I'm just tracking my steps to get between 10 and 12,000, hitting 2,200 calories, getting my resistance training sessions in. And some of those things are feeling like a job. Even the weight training, which I love, is sometimes tough and it gets quite fatiguing when you're in the workouts and stuff like that. But again, for the greater good, we keep hitting it. We keep, staying in our habits and routines. We keep focusing on that why. And we now know we're about 4 weeks away. So that's not too bad at all. We can, grind it out for 4 weeks, and any changes we have to make within that time, it's not going to be something we have to hold on to forever. So if I have to chop another couple hundred calories, a few hundred calories, or get up 15 minutes earlier for a bigger walk and more steps, we just got to do it, right? So, all right, on to the specifics of the workout today. This workout is same as last week, with the goal of, holding on to progression, or holding on to performance, trying to progress a little bit. I do want to start doing in lots of my training, I feel works quite well, are top sets and back off sets. So like if I'm going to the Incline Smith machine bench press first, maybe do a heavy set of 6 to 8, back it off, do something a little bit higher in the rep range. Those, I tend to like the feeling of those. So I might incorporate that across the board pretty much where appropriate. All right, so as I said, exercise number 1 today, medium incline Smith machine bench press. Goal to kind of not use so much of the rest of the pec, but more get some more work into the upper pec, as the name suggests. We go seated pin-loaded chest press. That is a horizontal variation with the yoga block behind the back for a big stretch and good range of motion. Machine fly with the hands high up on the handles, such that it is a little bit of a higher fly movement, and again, moving away from the lower pec or the rest of the pec and trying to get more into the higher pec. And then we hit some shoulder work. So we've been doing a lying cable lateral raise where we roll the bench into the small cable machine and we do a lateral raise in there. That's quite good. Neutral grip shoulder press. So neutral grip being where the palms face towards one another, and a shoulder press on the plate loaded machine there. And then finishing off with some Smith machine skull crushers. So that's all pretty good. Exercises don't really need changing. It's just that we have to work really hard for our progression and stuff like that, which is, it's tough, especially when you don't feel awesome all the time and then progress isn't there, and then that's kind of compounding. But again, main goal at the moment is fat loss, and everything else to that is secondary, although still really important. We keep our performance, it's still secondary. Fat loss is primary. So we keep grinding it out. All right, let's head out there. Smith machine, incline chest press or bench press first. Let's get it. Okay, change of plans due to availability. We're going to start on our horizontal chest press machine. So I would normally start on the incline Smith machine bench press, but unavailable at the moment. And again, That is a bit annoying because then it doesn't really sort of, your numbers change and what you think or you expect your performance will be is different, so that's kind of hard to track, but you can't always do it. So I mean, either way, we are still getting the stimulus from muscle growth, or in my case, potentially, the stimulus to kind of keep the muscle that we do have and not lose it. So although my, how I am, and I like things to be in a particular order and follow structure and whatnot, that is thrown off a little bit, but ultimately it's not going to kill us. And sometimes you just don't have the time, and if you're working out in a commercial gym and you would normally do bench press first, but you can't get on there, you just, you do it for this week and then we go back to that week, and that's completely fine. And again, you're still getting the stimulus from muscle growth. Some of the numbers might just look a little bit different. So, okay, so the horizontal chest press, I do this one, again, normally second, and I do it with a yoga block behind the back. So this particular chest mesh machine has always have a really nice feel to me, like I always feel my chest work really well on it, but it is limited by range of motion just a touch. So I'll take this yoga block, place it in between my shoulder blades, it will push me this further, and that will get me that larger stretch. So I get a nice deep chest press variation, pushing out, control the way in, pushing out. Now, if we're thinking about the job of the pec, or the job that we're trying to chain here, it's essentially pulling your arm in towards your sternum. So instead of just thinking push out like this, I'm thinking pull my arm in, and that will get us that sort of what we're after in regards to training the pec and give you that good mind to muscle connection. So yes, we are pushing the weight out, but more so what the job we're trying to do is pull the arm in towards the sternum. So that's what we're trying to feel each time. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. So hopefully that hangs in there for as long as this workout as we can, and we shall begin here in a moment. I've got to warm up a little bit, see what I'm going to hit. I'm going to go up to a top set, make it really nice and heavy, maybe for about 6 to 8 reps, back it down for something that might be more, 8 to 12, 8 to 15, somewhere in there, and get the best of both worlds. Get the best of both worlds. Let's get it. Alright, next up we have the Smith machine bench press on a medium incline. So inclining things essentially shifts your body this way while the weight continues to come straight down. So I'm going this way, weight keeps coming down, and you can see just by doing that, that it will start to shift where is doing the work, potentially, at least part of it, to more towards the upper pec, and that's the goal for incline movements, is to kind of make it more about upper pec or upper chest, working towards, there's a particular part of your pec that kind of goes in the inner third of your clavicle, so you're kind of getting into there, but even just a proportion of the sternal pec, which is kind of heading in towards your sternum like this, and then it starts to head up towards the clavicle. So we incline it such that it kind of focuses on that. Now, if you incline it too far, eventually it'll turn into a shoulder press, which makes it shouldery, still probably a little bit of upper pec, but more shouldery. So we want to kind of find the sweet spot, and I have found this medium incline. I don't mind it lower than this. Maybe over the course of time I'll even do higher, but this one feels pretty good so far. So you essentially have to pretty much make sure that that's all set beforehand, because the Smith machine is such that it stays on these rails and doesn't move off, which means the setup is critical. So I know over the course of practice that I've got two fingers on this smooth area here, control the way down, gentle tap to the upper chest, press up, control, press up. And then if I continued my arm through the pass that happens when I'm pressing that, you can see that it's coming up here. If we incline too much, again, eventually your arm comes towards the head, and that is what we want when we do our plate-loaded shoulder press. But for now, we want it kind of coming up, almost as if your arm was going to give you an uppercut, so in this kind of direction, which I've lined this one up such that it is. Okay, again, this is normally exercise 1 for me. This is the second exercise I'm doing today, so we'll check in with the performance. I'm going to go top set of a heavy weight, 6 to 8 reps, back off set to 8 to 12, I like the feeling of that. That gives me the best of both worlds in my mind. All right, let's get some on there. All right, we cap off the titty / chest work with the machine fly. Old faithful, classic, nothing wrong with a good machine fly. This could be done like on my other day in a cable crossover machine, one of the small ones where you roll a bench over, and there might be some advantage to that, as in you can adjust the resistance such that it's hard at the beginning and less at the front. But again, I still like the machine fly, easy to set up, easy to get going. Something that I do that is somewhat unique is I place my hand up here, I set the seat relatively high, which means when I do this, it's kind of coming a bit higher. And hopefully what that means for me is, again, we're working more in towards the upper part of the chest and not so much towards the lower part. If you wanted to do it the opposite and you wanted to make it more lower pecky, you would take this right to the top, grab right on the bottom of the handle, and it would almost end up like this. And these machines, you can do that really well. So that's a good thing. You could even lean back on it, and that would make it even more so. But for me, it's upper pec dominant. So seat pretty high up on the handle. Soft elbow is often a tip I give people here, because the bicep is a muscle that passes into your scapula. It can help with this job. So if we shorten the bicep a bit by a little bit of elbow flexion to kind of shorten that, let that chill out a bit, hopefully we can get the pec to be more of the limiting factor, let's say. Both will work, but if I shorten the bicep a bit, just soften the elbow, drive the arms towards one another, big stretch towards. That's it. Pretty much all gyms on planet Earth will have a machine fly. Nah, I shouldn't make that claim. I haven't been to all of them, but yeah, good variation. Try and isolate the chest when we've come from doing a machine chest press where the tricep will work, and even the incline press, the tricep will work as well. We can kind of get now a little bit of isolation, although again, bicep, anterior delt come into the game, but we want to try and make it as much about the titties as possible. Okay, a couple warm-ups and we on. Alright, neutral grip plate loaded shoulder press. Normally at this time I would do my lateral raise variation, but the cable machine is out of use, so hopefully if I can get through my couple of sets on here, and then I can, hopefully that'll open up. So normally I would do lateral raise first because the lateral delt is more of a priority. This here is more targeted towards the anterior delt, and that's already gotten a lot of love on our presses and our flies. So normally lateral delt comes at a higher priority for me, and normally it's a little bit more of an aesthetic model. Normally is you can't really have too big lateral delt. Anterior delt, maybe you can have it, not necessarily can be too big, but again, it gets a lot of love on the other stuff. So I'm taking a neutral grip at the moment, so this handle position, and when we think about the anterior delt, we're thinking, okay, the job of the anterior delt is kind of taking your shoulder towards the head in these kind of positions like this. Now, if you keep going lower and lower, you'll start to feel the pec fire up more and more. So basically what we want to find is a position where the anterior delt is the big unit and doing a lot of the job, right? So we set up our hand position. Sometimes with these kind of machines, like you can't really adjust the machine too much. Like these don't go different ways like this. It's just where it is. So if it doesn't suit you, maybe some dumbbells or a Smith machine or a standard barbell might be a better version. Anyway, this one for me is not too bad. Both grips are good in my experience. So I take a neutral for the time being, and I'm thinking about driving my arm towards my head. So we're thinking take this, pull it in like that. Don't just push the weight up to use your tricep. Think pull this in like that to make it about the anterior delt. All right, we got to add some weight here. I'm doing a top set, so a heavy set at the beginning, maybe for about 6 to 8 reps at a heavier weight. And then I might bring it back down to something like 8 to 12 for the second set, 2 sets only. Okay, we're going Smith machine skull crusher here. So lateral raise, again, would normally be hit, but unavailable. That's a popular machine, it would appear. We've got the Smith machine free, so we can isolate our triceps beforehand. Shouldn't affect that too much. So Smith machine, good from the perspective of no stability, but the challenging thing is it can't really be customized too much. So you've got to get the setup position correct. With skull crushers, you could either aim for a few different points, like towards your chin or throat, head, or as I go above the head, and you just do what feels good for you, or even alternatively you could also mix it up over time, whatever floats your boat in some circumstances, and just experiment, see what's good. So for me, I know it's going to be above my head, so I'm going to line myself up pretty far this way. We unrack, flex the elbows, gently touch that above the head point, extend the elbows. Bada bing, bada boom. Good thing, yeah, no stability required, no balance. To a certain extent, not heaps of technique, which means you can just go to town and really fatigue the triceps. All right, 5 sets here, so pretty decent chunk of sets. And we're going up a little bit weight from last week. And we'll do first set will be about 10 to 15 reps as a goal. Let's go. All right, next up we have our lateral raise variation. So we have taken a bench here, we've put it on the first incline. We've taken these arms, and basically what we're going to do, we've rolled into this cable machine, should I say, and we've got the arms at about, if I'm lying down here, about just above body height. And what I'm going to do is a lying lateral raise with the cable machine. So I like this variation because you can kind of set your position using this and these and just go to town on it. There's no body movement, there's none of this kind of stuff, so it makes it really strict and really challenging, and it feels really effective on my deltoids. So you're basically going to take cross handle, so I'll take right to the left side, left to the right side, lie down with it, and essentially it's important to set the arm height at the beginning, something that you know is where you want your arm to go. And then you're going directly against that path. So what I mean by that, if you think, okay, I want my arm path to kind of go in this direction, or if you see me like this, I want my arm path to kind of go like this. So my delts are the biggest worker. You set that height to directly oppose it. So I go, okay, want my arms to go like this in this fashion. What's directly against that? Set that height there, bada bing, bada boom. This could be lower. I've seen it gone higher as well. So it's really a matter of preference and what feels effective for you. And yeah, all right. We have a few sets here, last exercise and then we are done. All right, that's a wrap on the workout, guys. It's tough. That's good though. That feels good, feels very effective, and that's all good feedback. So like, although performance is not sensational, it's good feedback that I feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm getting a stimulus for muscle growth. Those are all good feedback signs to say we're going all right. Performance grindy, but again, keep aiming for that 1 rep extra. At certain stages, even maintenance of performance is a good sign. But yeah, always fight for that little bit of improvement. 1 rep, a couple of kgs per side. We're always trying to get progress, even if it's not smooth sailing, a bit disheartening as well. So we carry on. Next workout, we've got a lower body session. I'm still working around my hamstring / adductor issue that I think it might be. Not certain of that, but we still got to keep working around that because that's not 100% yet. So we might not do a regular lower body workout. We might have to, again, play around with it, make it such that it's a bit varied and there's no pain, and we can really iron this issue out so we can, have it gone and vanquish it forever. All right, let's get out of here. As always, if you're liking the stuff, hit the subscribe up here, much appreciated. If you want to see another video, get onto this bad boy here. Plenty of shorts as well with little snippets of exercise techniques, so check those out. And as always, it's about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.